morning and welcome. This is Sunrise and I am Alero Edu.
My name is Kaide Akintemi. It's great to be here. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise. Just as Alera said, we're hoping that today, being Environmental Sanitation Day, there is a lot happening in and around town.
And around Nigeria, forget town.
Yes.
Around Nigeria.
Definitely. Around Nigeria is a major one because all the way in Abuja today, and I guess during the course of this morning, we will definitely be looking at going to Abuja to talk about, we'll be going live. Yeah, we'll be going live to get what's happening with the PDP convention all the way in Abuja to get to know what's happening there.
And we need to know what's happening with the PDP. We've been hearing and reading all kinds of things about happenings in the PDP in different states around the nation.
Yes.
It would be nice to see if that convention will be one convention.
Well, there's going to be just one convention.
Are you gonna put your money on that?
I will think that it will be one convention.
Why are you hesitating? The question is, are you going to put your money on that?
I plead the Fifth Amendment. I plead the Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
Does it apply in Nigeria?
Well, yes. In this case, I will accept it.
Yes.
I will accept it.
But, I mean, talking about PDP, I guess the one party in Nigeria that has consistently been in the forefront of, yes, we do things democratically. Yes, we don't have godfathers in our political party. Yes, we do fight like any other family, and we come together. Alera, stop laughing now. Yes, we do resolve our issues, but somehow they do, and they get the results. So whatever it is, at the end of the day, they do come together and they get the result. But
it's
it looks like
affair all the time.
All the time.
Well, I can't wait to see the Anambra situation resolved as a family affair.
That one is a weird one because I'm looking at what the report we've got. Senator Andy Uba, the court in Abuja has quashed his suspension. They said he's not suspended. So the party says he's suspended.
His suspension has been suspended.
Yes.
Okay.
And then on the other hand, a court in Port Harcourt says he has been declared the PDP candidate for November, and the party says no, he is not the PDP candidate. So you're then not sure.
The party is in support of the other faction.
Yes. So, and the other faction already got the certificate that was presented to that person for them to run as the candidate of the party by nobody else but the chairman
of the party. So
Bamanga Tukur himself.
The plot thickens.
It does. So I'm waiting to see the outcome of today's convention.
Okay. Well, we're all waiting very patiently.
All roads lead to Abuja this morning. Convention. Yes. So we'll see how the whole thing pans out. But like you said, the plot thickens regarding Andy Uba now. And I'm wondering how they're going to resolve this. If a court says Andy Uba is the authentic winner and should be the candidate of the party, and they say, no, he's not our candidate, we've got a different candidate, who do they present to INEC? And what is INEC going to say? Follow the court order or follow the political party order?
We shall wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay. True. Apart from all the excitement in Anambra, there's also been a lot of excitement in Taraba. With the arrival last Sunday of Governor Damba Basuntai. A lot has been happening in Taraba State. In fact, at one point I couldn't keep up with what was going on. It was happening so fast. And Madame was in the picture very prominently. Again.
Yes, but that's what people are saying. That's what people are saying. At times, okay, let me digress.
We shouldn't believe everything we read, right?
Yes. Can I digress a little bit? Let me digress just one bit.
Okay.
I was reading my good friend Segun Adeniyi. I was reading his column this week. And he wrote a small piece on how Nigerians love to tear one another to pieces. And the analogy he gave there was that in America, if a woman were to say, oh, my marriage with my husband is not going well, and when this happens, and say, actually, I like his cousin, that kind of thing, a lot of Americans will respond to that and say, oh, we're really sorry. Well, try and talk to your husband because communication helps with relationship. You should try and find a way through. Don't let the cousin of your husband derail your marriage and stuff like that. But if you were a Nigerian and she says, this is the situation. Actually, he was quoting from what he saw online. And this Nigerian woman did the same thing and said, my husband's cousin seems to be quite attractive and all that, and we're having problem with our marriage. And a lot of Nigerians were raining curses and abuses, and rather than being empathic, trying to understand, but it's all about...
Kayode, we take relationships with family members rather more seriously. I mean, if you were going to have a relationship because your marriage is not working, does it have to be your husband's cousin?
No, it doesn't have to be.
Thank you. There are lots of men out there.
Yes, that is true. But the bottom line is this person is facing a problem that is unique, like the peculiar situation of Nigeria.
Peculiar.
Peculiar.
That word again.
And temptation at times does not recognize kinship or whatever.
It has to be your husband's cousin.
And when that happens, what should we be saying to that woman in Nigeria? Don't do it. Find a way to solve it. And that's where I'm going with this. Is the fact that in Taraba State, a lot of people who have come on television to say that the man cannot talk, the man cannot eat, the man cannot even lift a spoon of garri into his mouth, a lot of them have not even been in Taraba.
But don't forget that President Yar'Adua was seen taking walks up and down the stairs in Aso Rock. Someone saw him, someone saw him exercising, remember?
Oh, people said things.
People said all kinds of things.
They said things.
So people are saying all kinds of things now. And the only way to quell all of these tales is for the man to come out and talk to his people.
But we saw
for the whole world to see.
We saw all of the members of the State House of Assembly in a meeting with him. Yes, he was slow in reading. Yes, the reading was definitely cohesive and clear. It's just that the speech was a bit slow and his movement was slow. We also saw the man coming out of the airport, out of the aircraft, and he did wave. Yes, maybe not as energetic, as vibrant as my dear Alera who plays tennis. But all of that adds up to the fact that the man is back. And it is obvious that he feels and he believes he's capable of leading his people.
Okay, we'll wait and see then, once again.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll
have to wait and see. We'll have to wait because in this case there is a major plot, but I guess the conversation on this one will have to wait until when we have the show.
Yes.
We're expecting to have some guests in here to analyze this. But my own personal thought on it is I think a lot more people in Nigeria should have some amount of empathy. As much as we want to criticize,
I'm sure that those who are saying that he's not well enough, he should go back and rest and go back for treatment, it's out of empathy. The speaker, for instance, they have seen that the man really can't do the job the way he is. So, I mean, we feel for you. We appreciate what you have gone through in the last, 8 months, 9 months? So why don't you go back and get well and be fit to come and face this job? Like I heard somebody on radio saying yesterday, can he hold meetings till late in the night?
Does he have to hold meetings till late in the night? Well, because that's a subject that actually I would discuss from now till eternity. I don't know why Nigerian politicians have to hold meeting until 4 a.m.
I don't either, but they tend to.
They're the only one in the whole world. I never hear the president of America having meeting till 4 a.m. or the prime minister in England.
I mean, we heard about Baba OBJ that sometimes he used to schedule meetings for 2 a.m.
How can I do? Why? The whole day is not enough. They have to have it at night.
They're meeting all day and they're doing other work all day.
No. That's a sign of inefficiency.
The exigencies of the job.
Peculiar Nigeria again. Everywhere else they will have their
Anyway, we're going to talk about.
They'll go home.
We're going to discuss Taraba at length in the body of the program. So let's go to other issues. Have you tried to renew your driver's license?
Well, not yet.
No. Okay. Well, let me put you on notice.
If
you recall, we've had FRSC and Commissioner for Transportation on this very set telling us, oh, it's very easy nowadays. You just go online, you fill the form, and you go pay to the bank. And filling the form and paying to the bank, you haven't even started. I had to go. I had filled the form and gone paid to the bank. Then I went to the office to have my photograph captured. And they said to me, first of all, you have to go to one place to go and confirm that your payment has been received by us. When you finish, then you go to the VIO to go and do a written test. And I said, written test? I have been driving 36, 37 years. Why do I have to do a written test at this stage? Shouldn't that be for those who are just trying to get their licenses for the first time? They said, no, everybody has to go through that. Then after that, you will go to be captured. And that may take you 2 to 3 days. Ikeja only has one machine which has broken down, so they're not capturing any photos now.
And that would happen when? When will they repair it?
God knows. Me.
God knows. They didn't give you an expected time for repairs or procurement of a new one?
Come and check next week. And if it's not working, you come and check the following week. And then you come and check. And I'm thinking to myself, they've made it so cumbersome that they're making some people there rich. Because I don't intend to go through this. And I'm sure many others feel the same way. So how are they going to get licenses? There are staff there who are willing and able to get it for you without you going through all this rigor.
So they will find a way to get it for you.
Of course they will. That's the whole point of making it so difficult. Everything in my country is difficult to breed corruption. You have to go there to write a written test.
But
I saw
that
a
one
photo
beats me.
Of some road safety top dog presenting a driving license to the vice president's wife. I would like to know if she did that test they're asking us to come and do.
She didn't even go there to fill the form. They brought the form home. They brought everything home.
Well, they brought everything home. So she did the test at home.
Right. No test, no
it's
nothing.
Allowed.
No test, no nothing.
No, she must have done the test.
Okay, maybe.
She must have.
Okay, maybe.
But Mr. Kwaifa, I've been trying to reach you to complain to you that this whole system is just so cumbersome that you're going to get all of us looking for shortcuts.
Is it Lagos state government that is in charge of it, or
Lagos
the agency?
It's federal.
It's federal. So
I think driver's license is federal.
So if it
so
is
the system is the system in every state of the federation.
Gosh.
And you want to tell me that all those illiterate Danfo drivers have done written tests to get their driver's licenses?
They can't even write their names.
They can't, exactly.
So what test are they doing?
Exactly. What is this all about? I spent the whole of Friday. I first of all go to Ojodu. Then they look at my form and they say, no, madam, you are paid in Ikeja. So you have to go to Old Secretariat. I mean, if you tell us that this whole thing is computerized, I can pay in Lagos and go get my driving license in Sokoto, for God's sake. You should be able to find it on your computer.
Yes, that's true, but there's no central system anywhere in Nigeria. No central system.
I am so angry about this. Because what they tell me is not what it is. And they know that it's not what they have said to the whole world it is.
Well, unfortunately, nothing ever in Nigeria is what they say it is. Nothing. You never expect it to be what they say it is. You should expect that if they say it is one thing, if they say it's A, expect B, C, and D.
To Z.
So
if you want to get a driver's license, if you want to renew your driver's license, just be prepared to give up at least 3 days to sort out all the bureaucracy that goes with it, just to get a driver's license. In fact, right now I prefer the option of not having to drive at all anymore till I die.
Well, you have a driver, so you don't have to. But then the driver cannot be there 24/7.
Exactly. So you still need to get your license.
You still do. You still do. Just in case you need to drive, you need to have it officially. So
because I want to drive once a week or once a month. Look at all the stress I have to go through.
Yes.
I'm put off completely.
I am hoping that somebody will take this up somewhere in Nigeria, and the federal government will take this up.
I hope they're listening.
That they will. Well, they always listen, but whether they do something or not is a different ball game. But we're hoping that they're listening as well as willing to do something about it, because it's one thing to hear it and say, oh, those people on channels television, they complain about everything anyway. If it is normal and Chamberlain, it is it is Alero Akayode and all those people. They just like to complain about everything in Nigeria.
He's not complaining. Oh, really. This really just bogs you down.
Yeah.
Bogs you down.
Yeah. Well, we hope that they will do something about it so that we have a system that actually works, because there's so many other things we're expecting would work in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But something that works, though, is agriculture.
Yes.
And this year, the 19th summit of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, Tuesday to Thursday, Channels is going to be partnering. We're going to do stuff that no TV station has ever done in Nigeria. So a lot of Nigerians will have to watch out, starting from Tuesday, the kind of coverage we're giving it and the way we're going to deliver this. You will think this is something else. But our coverage is planned, and when we do the execution, it's going to be different. But the economic summit, the 19th one in Abuja, is one that we are expecting will take our agriculture issue, look at it, dissect it, get all the key players in the industry to take a very good look at what we're doing, what kind of infrastructure do we require, what is it we need to do to take it to the next level, what level of investment is required, what is the federal government doing in terms of putting the finance there.
And giving phones to the farmers.
Oh, well, that one's a soft point for some people online now.
Well, at least one thing is working, thankfully.
Yeah. Okay.
Talking
all right.
about things working.
Yes.
One network, which shall remain unnamed today, is now charging subscribers for receiving calls from other networks.
No way.
I actually took a photo of, because you can't save those messages, I took a photo of the message and I saved it in case they tell me that I'm lying, saying that I had been charged X amount for a call received from XYZ number.
Okay. Alero, we'll have to take that up next week because I'd like us to investigate that. I've never had that one before.
I shall show you the message after this program.
Oh, okay, we'll take a look at it. So, Sunrise this morning, what's on our menu? Alero?
We're starting with, naturally, with Taraba State. What's happening since Governor Dambaba Suntai returned? We'll be looking at that.
And then we'll be looking at aviation security. Quite a few people will remember seeing that child a stowaway. And I kept wondering, what will it cost him to find his way from Benin to Lagos without attempting to commit suicide?
Exactly. Then after that, we shall be looking at the Channel's Book Club Prize for Literature. I mean, I'm so happy that this is happening. This will make children read, it'll make children write. You know, we're trying to get back to the old days.
Yes, and the encouragement will be, today's the last day for submission. So if your child has read a book, and I think it's Chinua Achebe's book that they expected to read, dissect, analyze, and then write something about. So if your child has read that book and they're able to put together the number of words required, they should still put in their entry today.
Yeah.
Bring it to Channels Television, and we have those who have put it together for Channels, who are our staff here. You see their details and you see them on set here at Channels on Sunrise this morning.
And we shall close with
an artist of the week, and she is a she. So that's what we're expecting this morning. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring you the first segment of the show with our guests lined up for this morning. Don't go away.
If you like to browse, call, or text, you need EasyFlex. I'll show you. Most people work with a budget. This amount for calls, this amount for SMS, and this amount for data. Not very flexible, is it? With EasyFlex from Etisalat, all you need is one plan. You simply pay once, and you get reduced tariffs on calls, data, and SMS. You also get more than double of the value you paid for to call any network, browse, and send SMS. If it's really affordable, it should be flexible. Abby, choose your plan with Flex 300, Flex 500, and Flex 1000.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Channels Television presents the Channels Book Club Prize for Literature, where one student in Nigeria stands a chance of winning the top prize of a sponsored trip to the 2013 Frankfurt Book Fair in Frankfurt, Germany. 50,000 naira worth of books and exciting consolation prizes for the runners-up. How to participate? Candidates should read and write not more than 1,500 words on Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. The submitted essay must have a title, the candidate's full name, contact number, school, principal's name and contact. Essays should be sent to the Channels Book Club at channelstv.com. For further information, visit www.channelstv.com or call Kunle on 080-333-20974 or Orelua on 0813-845-7084. Entry closes August the 31st, 2013. The Channels Book Club Prize for Literature, supported by Lufthansa German Airline, the Cherna Books, and Goethe Institute.
If you're not on the MTN network, then you don't have the MTN Next App Store. That means you don't have access to the largest selection of local and international mobile apps on the continent. Apps that are so easy to download and install on your phone. Apps that enable you to easily locate places like the nearest bank, fueling stations, eateries, and lots more. Apps that help you prepare for that all-important exam, search for jobs, and do lots more. Visit nextapps.mtnonline.com to get started.
MTN, everywhere you go.
My mind, it happens all the time. Thought we were meant to be, and it still makes so much sense to me. I've always been a fighter, going for what I desire. I never will retire until I reignite this fire.
Yes, welcome back. Now let's get the show started. The governor of Taraba State returned to the country on Sunday after prolonged medical treatment in Germany and the USA as a result of injuries he sustained when he flew that plane and the plane crashed in Yola in October. He's back now, but there's some kind of confusion as to whether he's actually well enough and strong enough to resume as governor of the state. He has fired his cabinet, but the Speaker of the House insists that the letter transmitted to them was not signed by the governor. It's my pleasure to welcome to the studio to help us look at the happenings in Taraba since the governor's return, Mr. Emmanuel Bello, who's the former Commissioner for Information in Taraba State.
Thank you,
Good morning.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And we also have the Deputy Political Editor over at the Daily Independent.
Deputy Editor, Politics.
Deputy Editor, Politics. Okay. Please correct that. He's Deputy Editor, Politics.
Yes.
Mr. Habib Haruna. Good morning. And we also have a public affairs analyst, Mr. Dare Ogulano. He used to be a security expert. Good morning, Mr. Ogulano.
just wearing a different hat today.
Thank you for joining us.
Black and white.
Thank you. Now let me start with the man from Taraba who used to be a commissioner in Taraba State. Have you seen the governor?
Yes, I've seen the governor, and so the team in Tarabans who came to welcome him on Sunday, who had a glimpse of him, and even for those who didn't catch a glimpse of him, were just content with the broadcast he made to the state. They were they were overjoyed to see their governor, just like the rest of us are really happy to see him. But before I go into all that bit, I want to just seize this opportunity to really thank Nigerians. I'm sure this is the medium that I've been waiting for, to really thank Nigerians for their prayers, for their goodwill, for their concern. And I've never been more proud to be a Nigerian than now, because I saw the outpouring of concern, sympathies from everybody. Never knew that people could relate with what looks like a Taraba internal crisis, but people related to us very well. And last Sunday was the culmination, an outburst of all that emotion when the governor returned. And I read somewhere that people said that we rented a crowd, but that you couldn't have paid that kind of crowd to come out, because no one stayed in their houses on that Sunday. Everybody was out in the sun, and they were dancing on the street, and those who didn't even catch a glimpse of this man. And I told myself, as a person, I felt vindicated, because I've been the one telling them all this while that Governor Dambawa was going to come back, and that Sunday was like a day of vindication. He returned. And so personally, I felt vindicated, and we've been happy since then, until, of course, it was all dampened by the recent events that
until you were fired.
Rather, until certain developments I'm sure we're going to talk about. But the good thing is that as I speak with you right now, there's still there's that groundswell of support and happiness by the people that came out to welcome Governor Dambawa Dankwa Sante.
Okay, you have seen him. Did you talk to him?
Yes, we talked to him, and we've been talking to him, and he is also, but beyond that, he's also spoken to the entire state. So it's not about just me talking to the governor, it's about even actually the governor talking to the rest of the state, which he did. A lot of people have say that he should have spoken more, and I begin to ask, what is the standard? Should I have spoken for 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? With 30 minutes have done it? Because the charge before now was that Governor Dambawa can't even talk. That's what people say. But he was seen all over the world talking. That couldn't have been manipulated. And right now, if you walk up to him, he talks to you, he greets you, he recognizes you by your face and by your name. But I think, like I say, I keep telling people, I say, that is really not the concern of most politicians. The problem, the inside problem in all this is the issue of power. The fact that there are desperate people who will do everything, and no matter what you throw at them, if you throw, the governor's speech at them, if you throw him walking around, no matter what you bring out, because this is what I suffered. As someone who has managed the information of the Dambawa saga over this month, I discovered that for everything that you put out there, here that looks like an evidence. Some people who are ready to work against the governor have always come up with something else. So it's not even about what you do. It's not about the speeches. It's not about the governor coming out, but it's about the desperation by a few, really, who want to just grab power by the back door.
Okay. To your mind, from your interaction with him since he arrived, do you think he is fit enough to take over the job of governor?
Yes, I mean, I've asked questions, and I will come to that, but I've asked questions. I say, what are the standards? Because even the Constitution has actually said somebody who was permanently incapacitated, that is when you cease to hold that exalted office. Now, can you say that someone who was even able to wave, and people made a big deal about the fact that he couldn't come down from a player, and I say, Dambaba was out for 10 months. He had a plane crash. This is not some simple some simple land accident. It was a crash. He's over 50. He fell from that plane. He survived it. He was in the hospital. On that particular Sunday, he had actually enjoyed close to 70 hours of flight into the country. Now, that sort of a man, if he was helped, he's over 50, he was helped to come down from the plane. I mean, how do you use that to judge him to say that? And we've seen people that have ruled bigger countries on wheelchairs. Dambaba can make speech. Like people say, well, they cannot produce speech. He can sign a signature. He can recognize letters for what they are. He can recognize people. Now, if you say he's not fit, then you begin to give me the definition of what is fit. How fit do you want him to be? You want him to be as strong as Mike Tyson? You want him to be as fast as Usain Bolt?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know any one of us, Nigerians, any one of us, even some of us speaking here, who are probably living with a little, health crisis. But we still go about doing our job. Okay. People have even compared him to our late president, Ms. Rose in peace, and I say it's not the same thing. That was a debilitating illness that was going to kill the man. In any case, but this is an accident. Dambaba gets stronger by the day.
Okay, now let me bring in Mr. Haruna. What are your thoughts as to the happenings in the last 1 week? Because I think something dramatic happened every day in Taraba State in the last 1 week.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm happy that the spokesman of the government is there.
Former.
Who is my friend. I don't have him at all. Because Nigerians have watched this movie before. And they know how it ended. Before the man came to Nigeria, but the day he came in, a Nigerian journalist who was on vacation in America was able to get to the hospital, broke security, and saw the man. And on the report we read, this man is not too well. That is one. Two, there's nothing bad in Nigerians, full of attention, expecting that the man will come. Apprehensive that yes, he has arrived. The people of Taraba State were right to be eager to see their governor. If they are happy, it's another entirely. The Speaker of the State, before then, when he came in, I was thinking that yes, plane crash. We're happy that the man is alive. Nobody is wishing him dead. Nobody is wishing him well.
But you remember that some people said he was dead.
No, but later
some TV stations carried it.
Yes. But later we saw pictures.
And then they said he was brain dead.
He was brain dead. Then we saw the pictures of some governors and PDP leadership visiting him. We saw pictures. We saw him carrying his twins, our twins too, and I was happy to see that. But you see, the problem is when we saw that letter to the house, as a Nigerian, I watched this film before. So Nigerians are cautious. Nigerians are watching carefully. Did he write the letter? And the speaker, the governor, according to reports, they were not allowed to see him in his office. We learned he went briefly to the plane to say hi, came down, but you see, they were the whole picture is that of a group of people preventing the governor to see his people. I mean, there's nothing bad in. Yes, tired, but come and see your people. Address there.
Who are happy to welcome you.
It's very simple. I appreciate what everybody is doing. But the fact is that about the government and governance in Taraba State. Now we wrote a letter that people doubted. People said, okay, did you sign the letter? Can you sign a letter? The House members, led by the Speaker, went to see the governor as a duty. They went inside the house to see him. Initially, they were prevented. They later saw him, and they came out and said the whole world that this man is so capable. This man is just not capable to rule. And it's as simple as that. So nobody is against his health. Nobody is said that he's recovering. That is happy to know that. But the fact remains that the people of the state should not be shortchanged.
But
we are saying.
Let me ask you this: when people say that they felt that he was not capable of ruling, on the one hand, this is the Speaker of the House, and on the other hand, there's the Leader of the House, who then said that actually what we saw was not a man that could not run the state.
We don't hear that. Most of the members went to see the governor. Yes. They went to the place, and when they saw him, 16 of them signed that to us, this man is not capable. So if 8 is saying no, and the majority is saying that no, instead of Taraba State, this man should be allowed to go back and recover fully.
But you know what?
That to me is their duty to do.
You as a journalist, just a minute. You're a journalist, and as a journalist, you will most likely know what the law says.
Absolutely.
That it is not down to the Speaker or even 18 or even the 24 members to determine whether he is fit or not. Theirs is to constitute a medical team to investigate him. I can look at you and think, oh no, he's got shaky legs, shaky hands. I don't think this person can be fit enough to run.
But meanwhile, you know what, he's mentally alert and capable.
If he's mentally alert or capable, man should have addressed the stage. They showed the stage.
But did you see the video?
The broadcast.
The video. I saw the video on channels.
Yes.
And I was not convinced. And most people were not convinced what they saw. But so it's not, we should not be too legalistic. Look at this thing.
No.
You know, the fact is that can this man rule? Has he shown the capability?
Okay.
Has his health allow him to rule?
Where is all right. Sorry, before you talk, Emmanuel, let's ask Dari, what's your own perspective on this? You have watched what has played out during the course of the week. What's your own thought?
Well, let me start by saying this. In the last 16 years, power industry has been one of the most lucrative industry in this country.
It's not an industry.
Yes, it's an industry. And people with after power is crime. So and people will do everything possible to protect survivor. In fact, it has become ends itself, not ends to the means again. I remember very well a very good friend of mine, senior government official during Yaradua, when he was having this crisis. He invited me from the US and he told me that he just finished playing squash with President Umaru Musa Yaradua. And because of the respect I have for him, I transferred that integrity and I called some of my friends. I said, look, my friend told me that he just finished playing squash with President Musa Yaradua, and he's a very, very senior government official, and I have no reason to doubt him. And
but now you have reason to doubt him, and from now, then on.
What I want to say is that politicians are serial liars. They will tell you everything. Let us forget about legal aspect of it. You see, people are ready to throw their integrity, their morality into dustbin for the sake of survivor. Now, people are giving an example of former American President Uru on the wheelchair.
Franklin Roosevelt.
If you are having problem with your leg or you are suffering from polio, it's different from when you are having mental problem. If you are having common malaria, and that was a mistake of Obasanjo in the first instance. If you are having common malaria, you cannot be a councillor in this country because of the rigor of the office. Talk less of the issue of the governor. I've seen so many governors, they will say, in the last 8 years, I never went on leave. Tell me the reason they didn't go on leave. It's not because they love the people, it's because of the stealing. It's because of the crime they are committing there. If your health is not good enough, with the state, with what we saw on the TV, I need not to sit down and be looking at this man. This man could not even wave to the people. I'm not even saying he should address.
But he did wave.
He did what? They manipulated everything. He's manipulated.
Sorry.
And I want to tell you here, and quote me, that he's manipulated. The man did not even know where he is. We are not asking for too much. All what we are saying is that, you see, people may say it's Taraba, we are less concerned. It has happened in this country. And if you allow it to happen, if you really fall out, if you allow it to happen in Taraba and people go scot-free with it, because today we've seen what is going on, they are now divided.
Dari,
some data are saying our governor is fit. We have former Commissioner of Information saying the governor is fit. It's about what they are stealing, it's about power.
Okay.
If you are not good enough,
just a minute. Let's put things in perspective. When a video is manipulated, it is usually a video that nobody else had access to. But when somebody appears in public This is not something that was recorded and sent to Channels Television, but this is something that the entire Nigerian populace had the opportunity of being at that airport, and there were cameramen that recorded it.
We saw the Yar'Adua spoke to us from Saudi Arabia. You forgotten with his voice. Yar'Adua spoke to Nigeria from Saudi Arabia.
But that is different. That is different from a man that is seen to be waving on television.
We saw this man.
Yes.
This waving on television. He just won. They manipulated his hand to wave like this.
Oh, they moved his hand.
We saw they manipulated his hand to wave. The man was even looking like this. He didn't even know where he was.
Okay, now
let's be clear about this. Let's be clear about this. Where's Murati? What are we talking about? You appointed your deputy governor. You impeached your former deputy governor. The problem we're having
Who impeached?
No, they impeached the former deputy governor, right?
Okay.
And you appointed another person.
Okay.
And before I will appoint somebody to be my deputy, that person must be a person that I so much trust. I have confidence in. What's the problem with all our governors? What's the problem with all our presidents? They always make their deputy governor to be useless, to be redundant. And that's what is happening everywhere.
Well, that's not the topic we're looking at.
We have to look at the role of our first ladies also.
Sorry, we will get to that.
We have to look at the role of our first ladies.
Dari, we'll get to that. Now, from all of what you're hearing public affairs analysts say and what they are sharing in terms of their passion and thought, there is an antecedent. It's if we didn't have a Yar'Adua that had this doctrine of necessity and all the other things that happen, we probably won't be here. Maybe there might be a level of empathy and understanding and sympathy, but it looks like what has happened in the past is coming in the way of what's happening presently. What is the truth of the situation from what you have seen?
Well, let me start with my colleague, Habib. And I respect Habib, he's a journalist of note. We've worked together in the minefield of journalism.
Absolutely.
And we've covered grounds with him. The public affairs analysts have not met. But if this is the way to analyze public matters with that kind of passion,
no, I'd like you to just focus on the issue.
Yes, then exactly. No, because I'm coming to the issues he raised. He threw up a number of things. But let me start with Habib, and let me say that.
Sorry, give me 1 second. We've got a caller who's calling in from UK. Adedayo, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please go to your point straight, and let's make it quick. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to contribute that. There is nothing bad in somebody that is able to rule, but it depends on the disability. And it is just unfortunately that Nigeria interprets the constitution when it suits them. Not that they want to work with masses. The constitution suits the government people interpret the constitution when it suits them. The other side of the constitution, and this is just a common sense. People can say that this man is not mentally fit to rule. It's just that some group of people are just trying behind the scenes to rule. It is just unfortunate that we still have a long way to go in Nigeria. This thing has happened before during Yar'Adua era. That's why the speaker are doubting the capability of the governor. It's happened before. That's why this thing is showing it's happening again.
Okay.
That's my own contribution. I just want to say
thank you very much,
Adedayo. Every weekend I listen to you online, and later when you come back from your holiday. Thank you.
Thank you.
You certainly have been watching Sunrise. Thank you.
Now let's come back to the former commissioner. You were saying.
Yes, I want, because he's a journalist, so he should know these things, and I want to say that there is no justification in making a parallel, in drawing a parallel between the Yar'Adua situation and Governor Sunte's situation. Clearly, even the manner in which Yar'Adua was brought back to the nation, to the country, is not the way Governor Sunte returned. Governor Sunte returned in broad daylight. And we never told anyone, because I've been managing the information, we never told anyone that we're bringing back home a Superman, who fell from a plane and he's so strong now. And then we never told people. We say we're bringing back a governor who had actually had a plane crash and was out for 10 years. And when he came, that he was
10 months.
10 months. And when he came and he was helped down from the plane and he was able to wave at people. You say he didn't wave. And he corrected you that, no, he waved at people. And to say that Governor Danfulani Sunte does not know where he is, you're in error, public affairs analyst, because you've not met him. If you've met him, I've met him, you will know he's very aware of his environment. Now, the members who went in to see him, like Habib said, first and foremost, it's not the entire system members who signed any document that went to see him, because you have to get your fact clear. There were people, yes, there are people on that list that never went there anyway. So that's another thing again. But those who went in to see him, in 2-3 minutes, came out and then make that kind of assessment. The question people have asked is that what competencies, what medical competencies do they have to have made that kind of assessment? That's what everybody is asking in the world. When there are constitutionally verified ways to make those kind of assessment, when it comes to the health of the governor, the constitution is clear. When people say we should not be too legalistic, should we be illegalistic? Should we become illegal? We're a country that is guided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We can't do it. I wish it was otherwise, but we have a constitution that we have to go by. If you go beyond the constitution, you become unconstitutional. And let me tell you what's going on in Taraba. You've not been there. I'm just coming from there. We are currently seeing a situation where the constitution of the Federal Republic is in danger. It starts from the very first day when the governor transmitted a letter to the House of Assembly. And Habib, you're a journalist. Let me correct that. Most of those letters, the constitution says you transmit. It didn't say you write. So we're not talking about writing, whether he wrote a letter. Please get it right. We're too educated for that. He could have emailed this letter. I'm talking about his signature. He signs his signature. The governor just saw him in his SSG, the new SSG, and he saw his letter of oath in the pub. Everyone saw him signing the letter. So talking about him signing, even me when I was commissioner, people bring in, it's prepared by others, and then you sign. That's what is done. Even the president. And now talking about manipulation. Even the president of the United States, there are times he made, pronouncements and that, covered by maybe state house officials, and then sent to the rest of the world. Like I pointed out, there's nothing manipulative about it. Now, speaking about the fitness of the governor or otherwise, whether he can rule or not,
can I stop you there for 1 second? We have just been able to get through to the senior special advisor to the governor on media, and his name is Silvanus Giwa. Good morning, Silvanus. How are you this morning?
Good morning, my brother.
Now, we are having conversation here, and the former commissioner is here as well. We want to know, what is the state of being of the governor as of this morning?
In fact, as a matter of fact, I just left the governor, just taking a walk around his compound, and he's doing very well.
Okay, now when you say, Silvanus, when you say that you left the governor taking a walk around the government house, are you talking about someone who's able to, like some people are able to play squash, or someone who's able to just barely walk around? What is the true state?
Around.
Look, I want to talk about this issue definitely. You see, I feel this controversy is very is unnecessary. Unnecessary in the sense that most people were given the wrong notion that this man is in the vegetable stage. This is somebody who can walk, who can talk, and all his senses working correctly. We wrote a script. Definitely, he's my principal. We have to write a script on whatever it is. We wrote his speech for him on the day of the swearing-in. He came in, read the speech twice, and then he dealt with the boy to record him. He signed the signature in our presence. So people are just trying to belabor this issue. That the constitutional lawyer has spoken. We are just waiting for the whole constitution of the country will be turned upside down. That is what will be disappointed seriously, because whatever is happening from the office of the executive governor is according to the rules of the law, according to the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But we are actually disappointed because some people are trying to just overshoot the policy in Taraba State. And we are not ready to take that.
Okay, now let me check this with you. A lot of times people empathize when they sense there is an element of truth in what is being said. It might be a good idea if those who are working with the governor will state categorically and very clearly the state of his being, as in what are his infirmities. Can you confirm that? You said he's able to walk, he's able to talk, he's able to write, but what are his infirmities at this point? Maybe if people understand that yes, he can write, but he can't write too well. Yes, he can speak, but he's speaking slowly, he's recovering. Maybe if that is the message, people will understand. Could you tell us, in truth, what is the state of his being?
People want to realize this fact. A lot of Tarawans are conscious of the fact that not a very long talking man. He doesn't talk for a long time. He talks silently, even in occasions. And he doesn't even use speeches. He doesn't read speeches. He just says something like 5-10 minutes, goes straight to the point, and that is all. He's just an action man. Every sense in this man is working, my brother. People are just trying to falsify issues.
Okay, when you say every sense, you're still not giving us his infirmities. Is he able to run? Can he run? Can he jog? Can he do what everybody else can do?
The Constitution did not say that this man must jog before going to the House of Assembly. this man is walking. This man is walking. And the Constitution did not say that he was walking the moon before the House of Assembly considers the fact that he is capable of doing this job. They came in, the House leaders came calling, and he recognized them one after the other. Even Clark Jones was one of them. I was there, in the presence of a lot of people. I was there. I watched it live. It's not that I was told.
Well, what I was trying to get out of you, Silvanus, is the true state of things. As long as the people around the governor continue to say he is fully fit, he's able to, then there will be opposition that will say what we saw is not what is being described. But if it is made clear...
Is there a way that you state manage a speech? There's no way that you can state manage a speech. We showed the whole world how this man performs. So there is no manipulation here. And very soon, the man will also speak again. Very soon.
Okay, but Silvanus, if a man is seen to be struggling a little bit, as far as waving is concerned, there's nothing wrong with that. But if it is made clear that there is a little bit of struggle with waving his hands, managing his movement, then there will be an understanding or even talking. But if the people around the governor are saying his...
was on wheelchair. Nobody raised any eyebrow.
Yeah, but then it is made clear that he is on wheelchair. Nobody said he is fully fit. But if you're saying the governor is fully fit, then it becomes an issue because some people look at him and say this man is not fully fit. That's the question that's being raised.
This is an air crash. We are supposed to celebrate this man. It's a rare gem. We're coming out of this trouble. But we wonder why people are trying to make it very personal. And I'm making them more here. I'm out there for more here.
Okay. Finally, just before you go, I'm sure Alero has a question, but let me ask you this just before Alero's question. What is going to be happening during the course of the coming week? Because the State Assembly's Speaker has made clear that the acting governor is still in place. The acting governor has been alleged to have stated that no bank should respond to the governor's check and things like that. What should we expect to see? What is the plan of the governor from here on?
Definitely the governor will make a public pronouncement. As far as we are concerned, the man is following the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, Alero.
That's the question I was going to ask.
Okay, well, Lero's question has just been asked. So, Silvanus, we thank you very much. We've been speaking with Silvanus Giwa, who is the SSA media to the governor of Taraba State. Now, let's come back to the you, studio. Emmanuel.
Yes.
You wanted to respond or add to some of the things that Silvanus was saying.
Yes, I just wanted to take on the issue of fitness. Who is fit to rule? Who is fit to govern? And the question that
I'm sorry I have to interject. Yes. The question of fitness, there are two sides to this coin. Fit to rule is one thing. Fitness is the second thing. And the question I keep asking is, nobody can judge fit to rule, but fitness in itself is a different ball game. How fit is the governor?
Now, thank you very much, and that's what I want to address, because when we talk loosely about whether somebody was fit to rule and not fit to rule, you begin to ask yourself, what goes into the act of governance? Now, talking about, for instance, transmitting a common letter to the House of Assembly, that doesn't take, rocket science brain, doesn't take the strength of Usain Bolt to be able to sign such a document and transmit it to the House of Assembly. How strong do you want someone to be to sign a document? he can sign his signature.
And
so he signed it and transmitted.
In Nigeria that is as strong as Usain Bolt. If not, we'll be winning medals.
Thank you very much. But so it doesn't take the strength of Usain Bolt or the mental faculties of a professor to be in a position of governance. What you need is the ability to be able to make the right judgment, put actually the right people in place, and that's why Governor Dambaba saw in the right kind of SSG that think will move Taraba forward. He saw in JT Katabs, and everyone saw the swearing. You just showed a clip of it because that's what it takes, judgment. That's what you need to make those things. Now, what is going on in Taraba right now, I was going to come to that, is we have a situation where a lot of people are engaging in very unconstitutional things. And it's not even the Dambaba side that is doing that. It is the side that is saying that you have no right to transmit a letter. Everyone has argued this. When you transmit a letter, that's where it stops. But someone comes, the speaker, the Right Honorable Speaker Haruna Otoka, with due respect, comes out, and the entire nation heard him saying that as far as he was concerned, he has no respect for the Constitution. As far as he was concerned, he's not going to accept the letter that was transmitted. What happens to the Constitution? If someone say we shouldn't be legal, we should just forget the Constitution. How do we forget the Constitution? Because that's what the Constitution said we should do. The next legality was for people to walk into the governor, see him for 2-3 minutes, and come out and say he's unfit. When the Constitution did not, when there are clear ways of the Constitution to do that. Another illegality.
Yeah, but Mr. Bello, you know that what they have said is really null and void, because there is a system in that same Constitution to handle what you've spoken about. So what they have said is of no consequence. But let me bring in Mr. Haruna. People are saying that all this has to do with 2015. What are your thoughts about that? That they're positioning themselves for 2015, and they should let this governor be.
You see, you ask the SA media some questions now which you could not answer. Man was prevaricating, you know. He could not answer. Let this man come out. He could not answer that, you know. And you see, my worry is that we have a democracy that the institutions are not working. This should not be allowed. Look at what the man said in London, from London. We are a country of bunch of jokers. What are we saying here? That the man is well? That we can see that he is not well? That the state is suffering?
Habib, are you well? Are you well?
Please have the floor.
Are you well?
No. You see, I'm talking. You can see that I'm mentally I'm at a lot.
Who is well?
So I'm at a lot. It's what we are saying playing out in Taraba. The picture is becoming clearer. It's about 2015. You know, I'm a political reporter. He knows that. What we are seeing is
I'm an editor myself.
The state is there are more Christians than Muslims in Taraba State. It is the turn of the Christians. He is a Christian. A man Friday of Tuntai Bello. You see, so I'm here enough right, enough grant to support him. But morally, there are problems with him. And the presidency cannot talk anyway, even though anything the president says, the president's action or postures means a lot. The party itself, in my mind, should have come out strongly. The party has a duty to protect institutions in this country. The party is the biggest party in Nigeria, dominant in the political space. Gentlemen, enough is enough. Let's do the right thing. They are not doing the right thing. They are not pragmatic. They are more opportunistic. You know what we are seeing in Taraba is people seeing that no, if you allow the deputy governor to continue, the deputy governor will find enough reason to consummate his ascendancy in power. That is the thing. And as long as it's not too desperate to intervene, you know, implicitly if you like, because to them that will be sending wrong signals. So I'm not too worried.
Let's take the question to Dari then. I'm not going to be asking my question. I'll ask you what Kolawole on Twitter is asking here. He says, I don't understand what you mean by Dambaba is not fit to rule. What do you need to rule? Kolawole says or asks, and he says the man has a team around him, hasn't he?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know why in Nigeria we are running government like a secret confraternity. Because if you want to convince us, these people who are coming here defending them, they are just justifying their pay. SSA Media, former commissioner, who appointed them, and they have to justify that. Governance is so secret confraternity. We have asked that let us organize a press conference. Media want to talk to this man. I agree on one part that you don't need to be like Usain Bolt before you say you are going to be governor. In the United States of America, where we copy our democracy, to even become a president, you have to declare not only your asset, your state of earth.
Absolutely.
to know whether you are mentally fit. The man we are talking about that ruled from the wheelchair, he was mentally fit. Today, you are running everything like you are doing Ogboni confraternity. Organize a press conference, organize medical team, let media meet with this man and let them come out and say this man is fit to rule. What is going on? He has just said it. It's about 2015. It's about power play. It's about power play. I want to, in fact, at the end of the day, I will come back to this place, come and justify what I'm saying, that the man did not even know where he is. It's some people, some cabal, including his wife, that assemble some people just because they don't want to lose that power at all costs.
But you never met the wife.
I need not. We know the role is played. We know the trial of this world.
How did you know the role?
We know the signature. We can see the signature. We can see the signature. We know everything.
From what you're reading in the papers?
Not only from what we are reading in the paper. We know that in this country, just like somebody is justifying now that he just finished with him jogging. So also somebody
said jogging.
No, he's walking.
He's walking.
Yes. So somebody came and said, "Late President Yaradua just finished playing scotch with him." Yeah. We cannot continue believing these people. And it's not even about Asorok. There's nothing concerned about Asorok. It's about the political party. You just said it. If the PDP is a good party, by now they should have come out. They should have been open enough because it's their house.
Let me even help you.
The deputy governor is a member of PDP.
Let me help you there.
No, we understand that.
Chime, governor of Enugu State, he had the same experience. He was abroad. He went to US. He also went to UK. Yeah. There are rumors that he had cancer. And there were rumors that he was dead.
Yes.
He came back to Nigeria and organized the press conference. My reporter was there. I asked him. He said in the interview, which I used. He said, "Yes, I'm convinced that I'm not feeling fine, but I'm recovering."
Okay, so
and today, and that's wait, please below. And that rumor, the circulation should die.
Yes. So a press conference will convince you.
No, not convince me. It should be.
No. I just want to know that you are going to unpick some journalists. When are you going to unpick some journalists?
You see where we are. So if you had a press conference, they'll say you are unpicked journalists. No, there was nothing you were going to do.
I beg your pardon.
To rule. That's what I'm saying.
I beg your pardon.
I can argue
that. Sorry,
I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Haruna, so what is the implication of this for the state, where we have a governor who they say is not fit enough to rule? We have a deputy governor who insists that he's the acting governor. So this sounds like a recipe for total confusion.
Yes, my worry, and by extension, most Nigerians, is the fact that you are saying, as he said, a cabal. Some people are just surreptitiously trying to take over the state from behind the country, and that is bad for the state because the citizen suffers. There will be no governance in the state, and there will be no development. And that is why I was saying very strongly, for that matter, that it is that time the PDP intervene. Because the president cannot intervene. There's not very problem with it. The PDP should intervene and the party in power and tell these people to put their house in order and do the right thing. You see, it's not. You see, why they are failed so far? Because the media is the vanguard of this. The media is not comfortable because the media is not the pillar of democracy. And that's why my concern is that if you have strong institutions, this thing will not arise. It is not arise because people will do the right thing at the right time. But so people are hiding on the fact that.
Mr. Bello, the governor, the deputy governor, and I assume all of you who were commissioners, who were in the cabinet, you are all PDP.
Yes.
So what is the problem?
No, let me just answer to that. And thank you, Alero. And again, Habib, you are a political reporter. You should have known that PDP is doing some things about this. They did something recently when they sent a fact-finding mission to the United States. And some people were kind enough to publish the picture of Governor Tambaba and this people. No, Suswan. I'm talking of the PDP fact-finding mission that went. Yes, and the PDP then said that they were satisfied, impressed actually with what they saw. So if you look back, the PDP is already doing something about it. And the chairman of the PDP, if you're bothered to read the papers today, had already said that after the convention, they are coming down to Taraba to also look at the matter and what is going on. And I keep saying that, look, the problem, like Alero pointed out, is not even about we being in the same family. It's just about accepting that we're going to follow the constitution. And everything is unconstitutional. I'm talking about 2015 and power grab. You will think that it's just one side that wants to grab power or one side that wants to do. Have you asked your question? If the people who are saying that Dambaba is not fit to rule, the people who are saying that Dambaba shouldn't come back, the people who started by saying that Dambaba is dead and have continued their campaign of calumny to today, do you know what intentions they have? Do you know whether they too want to grab her? Yesterday, some members who call themselves the caucus of the National Assembly sat in Abuja and said that as far as they're concerned, they're backing the State House of Assembly. Now, if you look at all the people sitting there, because you don't know them, but we know them, each one of them had a reason to say that, apart from the fact that what they did was unconstitutional anyway. Because they cannot say there, you cannot as the parliament, ask the president or even the governor to go for treatment. You cannot appropriate yourself, just like you say, it's not avoid. But you see that some people come and say,
so you can
advise, but that's where you stop. Okay. But it was followed effectively by people in the National Assembly. Why? You ask yourself. Now, ask yourself, each time anyone is doing it in Taraba, ask yourself, why are they doing it?
Okay. Well,
why are they doing it? Who are they?
Sorry, Emmanuel, we have to wrap up now.
Yes.
And your final word, I'd like you to use it to answer this question, which a lot of people have been asking, which is, what has been the role of the First Lady in all of this? Because there are all kind of conjectures and all kind of insinuations and parallels drawn between her and the Turai saga. But we've got to make it very short, please.
Well, okay, fine. No, like all spouses to leaders, Dr. Hawa Sunte has been a fantastic mother to the twins she bore when Governor Dambaba was hospitalized. She had to go through the struggles of childbirth, take care of those kids, but still look after her husband. And she has got children to look after. You like it or you don't like it, she's in the picture because she is the mother of the family, and so she takes care of the mother. Beyond that, Hawa does not interfere in what is going on in Taraba. She takes care of the children, and that is what every responsible woman should do. And she has been strong, because if at the time the governor had this plane crash, she was in labor, and then she gave birth to those wonderful twins, who a lot of people say they were angel of mercies, as they will say. And she's been taking good care of her husband, staying by, inspiring, getting him to be strong, and getting him to be sweet.
Are you aware of any meeting between her and the members of the legislature in the state, begging or appealing or saying anything to them whatsoever?
No, I'm not aware of any. I'm not aware of such meetings. What happened?
But you didn't read it in the papers.
What happened between the legislators and the governor was that they went to see the governor, and then they came out then to pass what is completely unconstitutional, to say that he's not fit to rule.
So they have not at any point in time met with Mrs. Suntai, Dr. Suntai?
No, I mean informally, people come around the residence of the executive governor of the state. They are probably going to run into the First Lady.
All right,
it goes without saying.
Your final word?
My final word is that the governor's handlers should save us this headache. Allow this man to go and cooperate, and please allow the deputy governor and now the acting governor to take over the state. In fact, it should be made the substantive governor. Of this drama. Please.
Okay. Your final word, Dari. We gotta go.
What is going on in Taraba is the absurdity of a year's order. And as a good woman, as a good first lady who love her husband so well, you should not love power. She should not love power. What I've seen here is that this woman loved power and she didn't love her husband. She should just advise her husband to go and recuperate. That's my advice.
Thank you very much. So I only have to now thank our panel, starting from Mr. Dari Egunlana, who's a public affairs analyst, the former Commissioner for Information in Taraba State, Mr. Emmanuel Bello, and Mr. Habib Haruna, who is Deputy Editor, Politics, Daily Independent. Thank you all very much for coming to share your insights with us. Sunrise will return in just a moment. Please don't go away.
I beg, me, I can't shout. How can you be somewhere? Today things are working, tomorrow they're not. As soon as I got the opportunity to switch to somewhere with real quality, I did.
When I used to work, you had to do something to get something. But over here, you get stuff for free. Free 6-month subscription on my BlackBerry.
This is the first place I've been where they actually treat you like a human being. I even brought my smartphone over from the other place and got free 3-month data bundle. Bros, how I no go switch?
Now I'm always on top because I have the perfect plan to suit my busy lifestyle. Uninterrupted communication, whether home or abroad. Easy life, postpaid from Etisalat. Who wouldn't switch?
Move to the network that gives you value. Switch to the Etisalat network and keep your number.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Prophetic sound. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Prophetic sound, yeah. grace to prosper and rule above your bridge, and I say, more grace, more grace. Receive the grace to prosper and rule above your bridge, and I say, unto you shall the gathering of your people be. You are the one that your brethren will serve. Crown on your head, scepter in your hand, and Judah, I am of Judah, Judah, Judah. The crown is on my head. I am of Judah, Judah, Judah. The crown is on my head. I have given them rule over the people. By divine election I have chosen you. None by might, none by power. It's not political, economical, it's spiritual. The crown is on my head. I am of Judah, Judah, Judah. The crown is on my head. More grace, more grace. Receive the grace to prosper and rule above your enemy. More grace, more grace. Receive the grace to prosper and rule above your bridge. And I say, unto you shall the gathering of your people be. You are the one that your brethren will serve. Crown on your head, scepter in your hand, and Judah, I am of Judah, Judah, Judah. The crown is on your head. I am of Judah, Judah, Judah. The crown is on your head. Dominion and power belong to Judah. The crown is on your head. Wisdom and glory belong to Judah. My God is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Mighty as he is, so loving and tender. Early never know, he's my Ebenezer. As I always say, the maker and the man.
Okay, we're back, and this time we're moving on to what's happening in the aviation sector, talking about aviation security. On Saturday last week, a youngster named Daniel Ihekina successfully stowed away in the wheel well of an Arik airplane 5NMJG at the Benin City Airport. How he successfully breached security to get into that aircraft is still not clear, and I guess some of the agencies of government are investigating this. While this was happening, the aviation minister was busy in Enugu State, and they're celebrating the fact that Enugu Airport is having its first flight, international flight, out of that airport to Ethiopia and other parts of the world, which is a good development. But security being breached in another one gives reason for concern, and that's not just for Benin City, for across the board. The statutory responsibility of aviation security is the management of the security. Is in the hands of both the FAN and NCAA, but we'll get clarity on this. We'll get an understanding of this by speaking with the general manager of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Mr. Yakubu Datti. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise.
Good morning, and good morning, viewers.
Yeah, let's start with the issue of this young man who was stowed away in the wheel well of that Arik Air flight. Who is supposed to be in charge of security at the Benin airport and the rest of our airport across the country?
Well, thank you very much for that question. I think we need to go back and look at the issue in perspectives. The issue of stowaway is not new. In fact, we have a first case in 1928. And if you Google stowaway, you will see we've had almost 100 cases. When you have cases of stowaway, it's not a breach of security, because security is not a destination, it's a process. And if we talk about security, most times we look at the US as the standard. But there was one of our own in Murtalab that was found on the plane with bombs. So what we are trying to say, what we are saying is it's not a breach of security where you have people breaking through. It's the fact that security is everybody's business, and because it is not an end to itself. Every time when there is a room, when there is a breakage in terms of security, you look for ways to change it.
Can we take a couple of steps back before you make that point? Let's take a couple of steps back. If Abdul Muttalab is able to get through security with bomb in his pants or in his shoes or whatever it is, he's gone through security. It's been acknowledged that they saw him and he walked through. For one reason or the other, he was able to cover it up without all of the machinery and equipment detecting it. That's on the one hand. But for a young man about 13 years old to not have been seen at all and to get into the wheel well, that's a different ball game. Isn't that a serious breach of security?
And I think we need to have been carrying a bomb.
We need to get the issues in proper perspectives, and the case has been made clear that he was detected at the Benin airport. There was movement, there was seen, and even the airlines attested to that. So it's not that he was not detected or not seen, but that along the line, somebody did not play his role. And those are the issues that are under investigation.
Okay, please help us put clarity to it, what we know now. You're saying that he was seen at the Benin airport, he was detected as having been having stowed into that particular aircraft, and who did not do what?
Nothing was done about it.
From what we got report, and even from what the airline has said, while the plane had taxied off, about to take off. Now, where the plane was is about about a kilometer away from the terminal. He was preparing for what we call the approach, and the passenger noticed some movement and alerted. And alerted the cabin crew. Now the cabin crew alerted the pilot, and the pilot called control tower and said, "Look, I heard about this, but when I take off, do a sweep and get back to me." Now, by the time he took off, the fan security did a sweep and didn't see anything. Now, security is everybody's business. The fact that passengers noticed that and brought it to the attention
that there was a child.
They noticed that and they brought it to the attention of the cabin crew, and the cabin crew in turn brought it to the attention of the pilot. Means that the pilot should have played his role of aborting that flight and returning for scan. Don't forget that it did not happen at the terminal. It was at where the approach to take off. And it was noticed. And attention was brought to it. But in aviation, we don't try to lay blames. What we try to see is find out what happened, who did not play his role at which particular time, to ensure that it does not have a repeat. And like I say, the issue of stowaway is not new. It's not peculiar to Nigeria, and it's not a threat. But we are happy that the young lab is alive today, that we can even talk about it. We want to thank God about that. But the fact remains that, and we have handed him over to the State Security Service to find out really what happened, what led him there, what was the intentions. And sometimes there is even a conspiracy theory, whether it really happened in the first place. because it was on the same day when we were enjoying and celebrating the maiden flight, international flight to the southeast. So at this, of course, some of us don't agree to that argument, but sometimes, and that is why we're happy that security is also looking at it.
For the sake of clarity, though, when something of this nature happens, how will someone, a child, 13 years old or something around that range, possibly a little less or a little more, how will that child be able to walk through security undetected, without a ticket, without anything to show that he is flying, and get near an aircraft? Because what we should be thinking is, if he had had a bomb on him, anything could have happened.
Well, I like to clarify, that what happened was at the tarmac. And you are talking of a radius of about 20 kilometers. And that's why I'm saying it's different from the terminal building. When the plane is about to take, it taxis off to the approach, which is about, that's why there's this 2-3 minutes move, and then you get to the approach where the plane will stop and begin to accelerate. So it's really totally far away from there. Secondly, it's I'm talking about a radius. That airport is about 22 kilometers round. Now we have a perimeter fence which had broken down, and we're already preparing to look at how to reconstruct it. I'd like to also state here that you and I are aware that the aviation sector, until the present minister, Princess Stella Odua, came on board, had been yearning for attention at every sector. All of the 22 airports we have, most of them do not even have complete perimeter fences. Of course, infrastructure was nil. Safety equipment were yearning for attention, and that is why we developed what we call the Aviation Master Plan, which looked at areas of priority. And we looked at areas of safety where there's been a lot of investment. In fact, to collaborate the success in terms of investment, the Nigerian aviation sector was rated by ICAO, the world body, as operating above excellence.
Above excellent.
Yes.
Okay. We've got a caller on the line. Okay. I'm sorry. We've got a caller on the line. Babs, or have we lost Babs calling from Ilaro? Looks like we've lost him. Sorry about that. Yes,
this brings into very sharp focus the issue of perimeter fences for the airports. Yeah. Because this guy could have been, nobody knows what his intention was for doing this. That he managed to get to the aircraft and get into the wheel well is very worrisome. Same as having cows on the tarmac. So what are you all doing now about the issue of perimeter fences? Because it's very important, obviously.
Yes, it is very important, and it's in the front burners. So far, we've even taken additional steps, because apart from the perimeter fencing, we have patrols that go around this terminal to check and ensure. And then we have what we call the aviation security and also environment, because the incursion on the tarmac is not just about the human incursion, animal. You remember there were times where we had cases of cows on the tarmac, grazing, which has been taken care of. There are times we also had issues of bird strike, which was taken care of by the fact that one of what we did was to ensure that the abandoned aircraft that littered the terminals were gotten rid of, which was not been done in a long time. And to demonstrate our commitment to issues of safety and security, just last week we were able to move the tanker drivers who were parking just close to the international airport, which has been an accident waiting to happen, so to speak. And several efforts made over the years have not been proved successful. So those are efforts to show that indeed there are efforts being made to do that.
Okay.
But
let's quickly take this call. Let's quickly take this call, and then you'll answer. Yes, good morning, Babs. Go ahead, make your point quickly.
Good morning. Good morning.
Please go ahead. Morning.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Babs. I'm calling from Ilaro in Ogun State. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Dati.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, well, the first question put to Mr. Dati is here to be answered. And that is my area of concern.
who is responsible for the security of the airport? And that is the question. If he doesn't know what to tell you, I will tell you. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria is responsible for the security of the airport as contained in the decree that established the authority. And that is the primary function of the authority. However, we have security from other segments, whether you call them police, you call them SSS, they are just supplementing what the Federal Authority is supposed to do. But that is not the issue. The issue now is that even the man who is talking now is asking, how did he get to the airport authority? Can he tell us? Did you compete with anybody? They just brought every manner of people and dumped them there. It has become a political gathering. And that is why everything goes the other way around. Security of the airport, whether you like it or not, is the responsibility of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. No more, no less. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, what do you say in response to what Babs is just saying?
Well, what he has said is not anything new than what we are saying. But the fact remains that security is everybody's business. The Federal Airport Authority is in charge of security. We also have a joint task force compiled of the Army, the police, the SSS, who also assists in terms of security. Don't forget that
the arrowhead is FAN.
The arrowhead is FAN. And like I'm saying, these issues of stowaway is not peculiar to Nigeria. And it's not the first time that is happening. And it does not pretend that there is no security. What it means is that whenever there is a loophole, you try to see how to safeguard. The issue of perimeter fence is an issue that goes around almost all the 22 airports across the country. And most of the airports, the perimeter, the length is between 45 kilometers to about 20 kilometers, the lowest.
Okay.
Now, these are very capital intensive projects that are already been on the drawing board, and we're going to start on them. But before that,
sorry, you just mentioned drawing board. It seems like that's the same question that Henry Asede on Twitter is asking here. He said, please ask Mr. Datti, does our international airports have perimeter fencing or parameter fencing? Or perimeter, that's what it should be. Or are we all at risk in the airports?
No, our international airports have perimeter fences. Apart from that, we also have the patrol team, which goes around all the perimeter, whether the perimeter fence is there or not, to patrol, because most of the area, especially where the taxiing is done, is far away from the terminal. We also have observation posts where we have our security who sit and observe. And that is why the step has been taken also to ensure that areas where we have overgrown weeds will be cut to size, so that even from a distance you'll be able to monitor and look at this. But the point I'm trying to make is that these things that has happened, we accept that something went wrong somewhere, but it's not peculiar to our system, and it's not the fact a breakdown of security, because when you see somebody that is planning to break through your system. I mean, I just gave you an example of US and Murtalab, and if you're talking about the airports there, those are the areas where you are seeing the ultimate in terms of security. In fact, I also have a case of somebody who flew to New York without boarding pass, without international passport from Germany. All you need to, you look at this. So these are things that reoccur in the aviation, because you have people who are very adventurous, who want to break through a system, and when there's such break, what we try to do is be able to build on it.
Wait, Mr. Datti, you keep mentioning Murtalab. Murtalab did not go through security in America. He went through security in Lagos and Amsterdam. You know, so it wasn't as if he went through security and he went through with that thing on him.
No, you have to go through security.
No,
if you are going to even check and cross a flight from Germany over the house, you go through security, you just don't cross.
No, sorry, it wasn't even...
Yes.
in the air
that
he was detected.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he had
So-
gone to America, boarded the plane.
No. He boarded the plane from Lagos, Nigeria.
To go to
through Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, yes.
Well, before landing in America that he was discovered to be carrying the bomb.
Yes. We've got a caller on the line, by the way. Good morning, Bamidele.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, make your point quickly.
Good morning. My name is Bamidele Adewumi. I'm calling from Isolo. Yes, you see, it has been the style of Mr. Yakubu Dati to come on air each time there is any problem at the airport, to come and start telling Nigerian stories. And this kind of stories that is telling us today, unfortunately, we are definitely not going to take it. I find it very inexplicable that in a country like Nigeria, that we have an aviation minister and an aviation industry that there has been lots and lots of budget allocated to that ministry. And for Mr. Yakubu Dati to tell us now that the security, because he has just confessed to Nigerians today that the security at the airport is porous. People traveling within the country, outside the country, going outside the country in this Lagos or anywhere within Nigeria, that we are not safe. If this small boy that I will call somehow a brave boy, because what he did was bravery. If he was actually planted to bomb that aircraft that day, Nigeria will have put into mourning today. And somebody will come on air and tell Nigerians that what the minister, the current minister of aviation is trying to do now is to look at the security of the airport. As far as I'm concerned, the woman is not doing anything. She's busy. What she's doing now is not like I don't even know the right word to use, because as far as I'm concerned, she's just doing fashion parade at the State House.
Well, Bamidele, let's stick with the issues, and I think it must be stated that quite a few of us have seen a difference at the different airports in Nigeria. So to say that the minister is not doing anything will be an unfair statement to make. So it is obvious some ministers have not been doing what we expect, or maybe they're doing it and we can't see it. But I guess those of us who travel, we've seen some changes at different airports in Nigeria. Thank you very much for your comment anyway. So to respond to the issue of security though, the breach that we have seen, what is the actually, let me ask you first, how many incidents of stowaway have we had in Nigeria, and what is being done now with this one that has just started, that has just occurred? What is being done by FAN to ensure that we don't have a recurrence?
Thank you very much. Well, I also want to, before hitting the question, to say that most times when there are things of public interest in the sector, we see it as our responsibility to try and share information with the general public and Nigerians. So it's not about defending, it's about trying to share information. And as I speak with you, we already have a team that is also investigating in Benin to find out where did our staff go wrong, what went wrong. But in the interim, there are also steps that we have taken already to ensure that we're going to have a patrol team that will be patrolling the airports more frequently than before, and that they will be positioned in a vintage position such that they will see the aeroplane until it's airborne. And we also have we are creating observation posts so that we'll be able to see, the security people will be able to have a good view of the airport and the terminals.
When is this scheduled to start?
No, we have started right away, all around the 22 airports. We've given instructions to all our managers to ensure that they adhere to that.
Okay, let me take you back a bit. You mentioned international airport when you were speaking, that the international airport has a perimeter fence, and you have the security people who actually patrol the airports to make sure that everything is okay. I'm sure you have read as I have, latterly we've been reading about incidents at the airport where some people's luggage is tampered with. Sometimes the luggage is actually taken away by people who they say are touts, who come into the airports and to actually join the hired hands to take luggage out of planes that arrive in Lagos especially.
Well, before you take that question, can I quickly ask that we take this phone call as well? We've got on the line Vandu in Abuja. Vandu, very quickly, please make your point.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please make your point. Oh, we just lost Vandu there. Okay. Oh, please. Yes.
Well, I like to say that a lot of things that used to happen are changing with the presence of Princess Stella Odua as the Minister of Aviation. As we speak, we have expanded the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, by 25%. We have installed about 30-meter conveyor belts, and we have also made the access of luggages not to pass through the meandering access that created such problems before. Now they go directly up there. I'm sure if you go to the airport from this week, you'll be surprised with the changes you will see.
This week?
Yes, there are a lot of changes that are going on, but most of the experiences people have is in the past. I've also been able to go deep to find out about this issue of luggages. And to my amazement, we have a whole, two big rooms where people have of left items behind. Sometimes people leave these items behind. I have a case of somebody who said they forgot their iPad. I personally went and discovered that it was kept there. So we have cases of people who are even supposed to come back and recover certain baggages that have been left behind. But most times, if they don't find it, they just conclude that it has been pilfered. In any case, we know that that problem is there, and we are already setting up a task force with a mobile court attached to it that will be able to execute and be able to make people who take advantage of a responsibility given to them to face the impact of the law immediately. But for now, with the closed circuit television cameras we have in the airports, most of the cases of theft of passenger luggages is more or less in the past.
Yeah, Mr. Dati, can you please tell us what happens when the plane lands and the luggage comes out before it reaches the passenger who's waiting to receive it? Because it'll be nice for us to actually see how anybody else who's not supposed to be there has access to an aircraft that has just landed to a point where you can actually pilfer somebody's luggage.
Well, the truth is people who have no access, have no business, don't even get close to these luggages. Most of what you hear are stories. But now we have baggage handling companies that as soon as the plane arrives, they take charge of that. Now, the airport is such that a lot of services are concession. We have the baggage handling companies whose responsibility is to carry these luggages and transport them to where the conveyor belts are. Now, sometimes you have cases also whereby from the point of departure of the luggages, there are some luggages that may have security concerns. And at that point, the security in that country, usually they even open the baggage. If they cannot, they can even break through and carry out their searches if they suspect that the baggage is containing things that is not supposed to be there. So sometimes you have such cases and people mistakenly think it's the baggage handlers. Because if the baggage is going unaccompanied and there is a suspicion on that baggage, and sometimes they do what you call random checking, and they pick out and want to find out what is the content. If they cannot have access, the law allows them, the security, to forcefully open the baggage, check it, and return those things. So sometimes we have some of these cases too that at the end of the day get mixed up as if it's being pilfered.
Let's very quickly take a caller who's calling in from France. Ufat, good morning and welcome to Sunrise. Please make your point very quickly.
Okay, good morning. I have been listening to the discussion going on, and it's surprising that one issue here that is not addressed, the issue of the airport security begging. For us that travel across Nigerian airports, it is appalling that you notice that what the security men are concerned about is how much you can give them. You see somebody that's supposed to take time to check whether you're carrying anything good or bad. Instead, the person is busy asking you, what can you offer? And when somebody is concerned about getting money from you, he shuts his eyes from his real job, the security. What I want to ask Mr. Dachi, what they are doing to check this aspect of begging, because it's embarrassing. And I'm sure most security problems that we have is as a result of these gullible security officials who, instead of concentrating on their work, they beg. I mean, at one point, you pass one point, they are asking, what do you have for us? And even when you are coming back, all they do, their interest is to beg and they're asking for money. At a point, a case in point, when I was passing across one time, I even told one of them, I don't have Naira. And the guy said, whatever you have, bring. For goodness sake, I had to pass with some dollars just for the guy to leave me alone. So, what are you doing to address this? Now that you say that you have CCTV in place, don't you notice that these guys are concentrating only on begging? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that question. We are already taking steps. December last year, we took steps to do a lot of changes at the Murtala Mohammed Airport. In fact, right now we have a retired colonel who is in charge of security, and he's been bringing a lot of changes in there. We also have CCTV cameras, and so all that are efforts we are putting in place to ensure that what used to be, there will be some change. And don't forget that the airport is not isolated, it's part of Nigeria. Some of the problems you have out there are the same Nigerians that are running them. What we try to do is create capacity development, do a lot of training, and be able to weed out the bad eggs. And we have done quite a lot in that direction. But we citizens also have a responsibility. I'm also happy that Channels is also playing a role in that. For the fact that the other time we saw the story of a policeman who was trying to collect bribe, and Channels played its key social responsibility. So we encourage people to also play their role, because sometimes these people they are there. You can't just come, and if you don't have evidence, you can't come and pick somebody out. So sometimes when people make even such appeals, we'll be happy to handle these issues if we have evidence. But we are very, very concerned about what is happening.
I'm sure you are aware. I'm sure you are aware. At every point at the airport, somebody is asking you for money. At every point.
I don't think that is very fair to most of the people who are working at the airport, sincerely. It's like somebody telling me that in
okay,
Nigeria,
you're not aware. You're not aware.
No, we know of some cases and we monitor them. In fact, just yesterday, somebody told me about his experience that he's an Igbo chap, that the guy noticed that he's an Igbo chap and was even asking him in Igbo. And those are the issues we want to pick up. But I also want you to understand some of our limitations in terms of that. We don't have control over, we only have control over fund security. Now we have other security people that are in the airport. And we have also been talking to the officers, to the superiors, to see how we can be able to address these problems. Because it's really a problem that is not just restricted to the airport alone.
Yes, there are other security agencies at the airport, but they're all working under FAN. FAN is in charge of the airport overall, isn't it?
That is how it's supposed to be. But when a FAN security man does not even carry a gun, and you have another security man he's working with carrying a gun, your guess is as good as mine, who is in charge. So these are some of the issues that we try to address that limit us, but do not stop us from looking at how to resolve these issues.
I have a question, or a couple of questions I'll take, but before I ask that question, we have a caller on the line. Tunji is calling from Agodo. Yes, Tunji, good morning. Your point very quickly.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Okay, we just lost Tunji there. Now, let me go very quickly into my question. Number one, what is the rule on recording or taking pictures at the airport?
Well, in the first place, we are trying to liberalize. We are a democracy. So those restrictions that used to be there are being, tampered a bit. But whether you are allowed or not, you have your camera, you have your phone. Most of the phones have camera. What we are saying is we believe that security is everybody's business. And we all have roles to play. If you refuse to give that bribe, if you have documented evidence, it helps.
I just want to break it down a little bit now. If I go to Heathrow, Gatwick, Charles de Gaulle, anywhere, I'm able to stand and take picture. In fact, I'll find security men who will say, okay, look, there are two of you, let me help you. You will find that.
Yeah.
But in Nigerian airport, it's the moment you bring out a camera and it flashes, somebody is coming to you saying there's security, they're not going to let you take it.
I think that is in the past, Kayode. Don't forget that we are trying to do
so we're allowed
a lot
now
of changes. Yes, I see people with their phone taking pictures just last week at the international airport.
The reason I'm asking that question is because if there is a rule for many years and some of the security agencies that are within the airport are not aware that there's a change to that rule and they're fighting with you and struggling to get your camera off you, then it creates a situation where you find it difficult to do what the gentleman that recorded the police officer that was trying to take bribe. You can't do that at the airport because they'll tell you you're not allowed to record.
No, like I said, just last week, I saw people taking pictures. I saw a couple that just came back. There was this hug and people were just taking shots. There is different.
So it's not allowed.
It's now allowed.
It's allowed, but the security also are careful about those who are there for probably different reasons. Because when you see somebody with a different agenda, you are also careful. They want to find out what are you doing, where are you from, and that's the work of the security. But also, I want to state that we have also improved in terms of safety and security, in terms of equipment. Right now, we are installing machines at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport that will be able to, apart from the CCTV camera, that will also to do the body scanners, back scanners, electronically, in addition to the physical body searches. All that is to be able to operate within the confines of international conventions when it comes to safety and security.
So the issue of people being able to, being required to remove their jacket, remove their belt, remove their shoes and almost everything, that might be a thing of the past?
No, that is everywhere in the world. If you go, you have to do that. And that is because of the growing threat of terrorism across the world. So we tighten security and ensure that we don't leave any loopholes, because the moment you tighten on this, they like to break in on another. But it gives us additional edge in terms of scrutiny of what comes in and what goes out.
Okay, we've got a caller on the line. Sorry, Alero. We're getting quite a few calls here. From Yola in Adamawa, Abioye. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Please go ahead, make your point quickly.
Yeah, I want to say this opportunity. Morning, sir.
Please go ahead and make your point very quickly. Thank you. And reduce the volume of your TV set.
The fine authority for the airport. But in addition, for the security situation.
Oh, we just lost them. Okay. Alero, your question you were going to ask.
Yes. Now, for the benefit of other young, courageous boys who may want to try this out, is FAN planning to have any kind of campaign to warn young people, adventurous young people, of the danger of what this boy did? Because we have seen in other climes how people have hidden in wheel wells and have actually died before the plane even got 1/4 of the way to its destination.
In fact, that is one of the reasons why I'm even here, to begin to create that enlightenment. Because for Daniel, he's lucky that he came out alive. And we thank God that he came alive. In fact, it's more like a miracle for him to survive a 35 minutes flight.
Yes.
And like some of the experts have said, is because the flight didn't go higher than 21,000 meters above. So he was able to get some oxygen. But it's very, very dangerous. And the only way to get across to fulfill our ambition, we try to tell young people, is try to go to school. And we need mentors. We need people who will be role models, who will talk to these young people and assist them on how to achieve their dreams. Like we always tell people, Nigeria is one country where from nobody you can be somebody. And all it takes is hard work and dexterity.
Okay. So far, have you had any inkling, or do you have any inkling from the security agencies as to what actually his motive was?
Well, they are still investigating. You know, we handed over to the state security, and until they finish their investigation, we may not have any information. In fact, 2 days ago, the mother showed up at the airport in Benin, and we advised her to also see the state security. Probably she must have given some useful information. But we know that at the end of the day, there are a lot of people that probably sometimes, some may even require some psychological attention, some mentoring, some, you know, so there is quite a lot. Because for a young lad of 13 to see a plane about to take off and jump in, there's more to it.
Okay, one of the questions some people are still asking is a question I asked before. How many incidents of stowaway have we had in Nigeria?
Well, we had one, I think this is about the second. The first one, which I recall, is last year, which was also discovered in one of the planes that came in from London. And we discovered a stowaway that he did not survive. So we are still investigating to find out at what point. Well, we wouldn't know. He wasn't alive for us to even investigate.
But where was he found?
He was found at the airport here in Lagos, but the plane arrived from London. So sometimes you don't even know where they get him because they are not alive to tell their story. Like the case of Daniel. If he was found dead, we would have wondered where he joined the plane from, because it's based on the investigation, preliminary investigation, that we even knew where it started. It started in Benin. So it's very difficult to tell.
Okay, we've got a caller on the line. Good morning. We will do what we've always said, Vandu, reduce the volume of your TV set and then tell us what your comment will be.
Hello.
What's your comment? Go ahead, please.
Okay, I actually want to find out from Mr. Bati if the industry, I'm talking about the aviation industry, takes training and retraining very seriously on the security personnel they have in the FAN. Because it is one of the most vital aspects, you know, of any organization. It's an aspect that should not be taken so lightly. How well do you train your security staff or security workers that you call in FAN?
Okay.
Do you just put them there, they work, receive salaries, and that's all? The aviation industry is an industry that should always be updoing when it comes to security. It is not something that you can want to take for granted anyway. So please, I want you to really tell us as Nigerians, what do you do when it comes to training and retraining of your staff, security staff in the aviation industry? Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, in fact, training is very, very important, and that is why in the Federal Airport Authority we have a department dedicated to just training, and we pay special attention to training of aviation security. And like I mentioned earlier, that is because of the performance of our security personnel and what we have on ground, that even ICAO, the world body, recognize and crown our efforts at operating above the requirements in terms of security. So we're not above average, above the requirements. So we are doing a lot in terms of training. We are also looking at the capacity, because we also have a workforce that is aged. So we are looking at bringing in younger hands, training, bringing in professionals, and training and retraining. The issue of training is something that has to be ongoing, and we'll continue to do that. But I'm also saying that happy that with the four international airports that will soon be built in Lagos, Abuja, Kano and Port Harcourt, will be able to, it's coming in with state-of-the-art security equipment in addition to the 22 airports that are currently being remodeled. So at the end of the day, we are looking at a situation where Nigeria will be able to assume her pride of place as the hub of aviation in Africa. And most importantly also, if I may add, is that this minister, Princess Odua, is looking at turning aviation into a revenue earner. And that is why about 14 of the airports have been designated as cargo for the export of perishable products. I mean, the statistics available to us shows that in the year 2010, about $245 billion was made in the exports of perishables, things like fresh fish, mangoes, vegetables, from countries like pineapples, flowers, from countries like Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa. Nigeria's participation was zero. Meanwhile, we have these products in abundance, and that in itself will be able to open up. And for some of you that are frequent flyers, you know that the kind of mangoes or oranges you take up there cannot compete with what we have here. So, which means given the opportunity, our products can compete very well internationally.
In parenthesis, before you go, since you're talking about 4 new international airports, I hope that they have sitting / waiting areas for people waiting to receive people coming into the country, because all this standing around outside in the rain and in the sun is not the best, because other international airports I've been to, there's a sitting area where there are even restaurants and fast food people where you can sit comfortably and await the arrival of your relation or whatever who's arriving.
No, even there with the remodeled terminals, we have created that facility. Not just
I don't see any in Lagos.
No, there are, but it's not just accessible to everybody because of the issue of security. If you go into Murtala Mohammed, you will see a stroll. There are places for commercial takings where we hope to bring in shops, pharmacies, banks that will be able to operate. We are trying to create an avenue where you can even come in and have lunch as you receive your visitors.
Yeah,
and
but the
these are things.
men are still at the gates trying
Asking
to
for
stop
your
people.
passport and your
If you don't have
before you
passport
go
ticket,
in.
they won't let you in.
Yeah,
and
because
things like
if you don't have business in the airport, you have no
I'm going to
business
receive
village.
my guest who's arriving from the UK.
Yeah, if you explain that, you will be able to have access. But what we are trying to do, because of what the touts have turned our airports to, we had to take stringent measures to be able to secure the airports. And most people have attested to the fact that they come in, they have restaurants where they can sit while they are waiting for their families to come in, so long as you have proper clearance. But we can't have a situation where we just open our doors to everybody whose intention are not very clear, who does not have business
Is our
there.
own situation with touts worse than the rest of the world?
No, the problem why ours is serious is that some of the passengers actually have their own touts. You find some passengers, before they leave home for the airport, they'll call their touts, "I'm coming to the airport.
So that
buy me a ticket." I mean, and we try to tell people you can buy your tickets online. So it takes away that. Those are realities that we are confronted with. And you can't go and see somebody and say, "You are a tout. What is the proof?" You know, so we are also appealing to travelers to please avail themselves with some of these facilities that are available. You can check it, you can buy your tickets online, so you don't need the services of these touts.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yakubu Datti, the General Manager of Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. We really appreciate your coming on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've been speaking with Yakubu Datti, the GM of Federal Aviation Authority here in Nigeria, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Who was that girl you were talking to?
Come.
Who was she?
Okay, I'm sorry.
You go through my phone to keep your tabs on me, like what else?
That's not the point. Who was she?
She's a friend.
They always are.
Come on, what more would it take for you to trust me?
Trust? You're asking for too much. Frankly, I'm done.
Okay, whatever.
Truly a blessing in so many ways. Overwhelming, you leave me yearning and thirsting and longing for more of you each day. If I had a single wish, I'd wish that it remained like this forever. If I could have my way, we would go the extra mile together. Feels just like I love you and me till I love you more. You and me till I love you tire me. You inspire me. Yes, I love you and me till I love you more. You and me till I love you too. I watch you, things that you do, and I can't help but notice how beautiful you are. So understanding, though I'm demanding, you're patient and loving, been such a star. If I had a single wish, I wish that it remained like this forever. And if I could have my way, we would go the extra mile together. Just like I love you and me till I love you more. You and me till I love you. Fireworks. Yes, I know that this requires work, and all I ask for in return, please disregard my imperfection. Willing to love you more and more. I have never seen your kind before. My heart is like an open door. Oh, it really feels just like I love you. You and me till I love you tire me.
My word, that voice was just ringing in my head and in my ear. And I'd like to say we have the person to whom that voice belongs right here in the studio. And that person is Ebisa Bukola Damola. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on Sunrise.
Thank you very much for having me.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Ebisa grew up in Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and England, and she actually studied accounting and finance and has a master's in international business management. So naturally, the first question is, Ebisa, can you please tell us how come you gave up all that and went into music?
I always tell people no knowledge is ever lost, and I don't really believe I gave up anything. If anything, it's actually put me in a better position. Yes, of course, it doesn't have anything to do with me singing, but this is a music business after all. So as long as there is business involved, then my degree definitely helps.
How did you get into music? Is there music in your family?
Yeah, we love music, but I'm the only one
love
doing
listening to
music. Well, we used to perform as kids. My siblings and I used to perform all the time. You know, we never charged, which we should have, you know.
And who would have paid for kids entertaining
my
people?
My grandma would have, you know, supported us. Yeah, we were always thinking up ways to recreate, you know, things and just play around with music, dance, drama. So there was always something fun and creative happening at home. Yes, there was always something fun and creative happening at home. So I think that influenced my choice in, you know, career.
Okay. But there's no family member who sings?
Professionally, no, but they all sing, you know, in the comfort of their own home.
Yeah, now tell me, how do your parents feel about all this that's going on?
Okay, well, let's just say they were pretty supportive, but I think until I actually started singing and, you know, producing videos and more music, they realized that, okay, you know what, you're actually quite talented and maybe she's actually serious about taking this, you know, to the next level. So they started supporting me. And then they also think I'm talented, so why not, you know? Why not?
When did you start the music?
When did I start music? Professionally, I'd say at the age of 16. Yeah, that was the first time I actually got paid. But I had been performing well, like, before then. That was, like, my first stage performance was at the age of 8.
In primary school?
Yes. It was a Christmas Carol performance, and yeah, I had a solo performance, and it was really great.
And everybody just went like, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know what, I can actually do this. I can actually do this for a living. So I'd been planning how to break it to my family.
Were you singing?
Yes, I was. And even when I was in university, I used to work as a session singer. So I used to sing at weddings. I used to sing for songwriters. You know, I was making extra pocket money on the side while I was in school.
Was happy about that.
Okay, so your genre of music, what would you call it?
I'd say I make soulful music. I can work with different beats. I can work on a dance track. I can work on a reggae track, but my vocals are always soulful.
Okay, and when you look at what you've done so far, a number of people will say more often than not, when you are into this kind of music, doing what in Nigeria they call collabo. Collaboration with other musicians is often something that you do with a view to up the ante, kind of. Is it something you're looking at?
Well, my latest single is with an artist called Chidima.
Okay.
So she, not Chidima, the one that you know. She's actually now called Chi, the lady I did a song with. But she's not as famous as, you know,
Chidima,
the other Chidima or the other. But I chose to work with her because of her vocal abilities. I tend to think about the music and what I'm trying to create more than the person or how popular the person is or whatever. Of course it helps to work with someone who's already established, but I find that there's a certain hunger and drive in those who are upcoming.
Gotcha.
You know, that you get with than with others who are a bit more established.
Some people do say that in the music industry today, it's a lot more difficult for young ladies to make their way up. How difficult is it being for you, and how true is it?
Okay, well, obviously there's always going to be challenges, but I've never really looked at it as, oh, it's because I'm a woman. I just think with any career path that you take, there's always going to be something, you know, some obstacle. But it's about how passionate you are about what you're doing and how motivated and how driven you know, you can just overlook all that and just see it as, you know, a way to make you better at what you do. So whatever challenges have come my way, I can't particularly say it's because I'm a woman. It's just, I think a guy would go through some of the things that I've gone through.
But if you were to be honest though, would you say that guys have it easier? You don't think so?
No, I think we might have different ways to deal with the challenges, but I really don't think they have it easier. I think it's more, for me, I think it's more about the choice of music you choose to create. Like, for instance, I make what people would say is alternative music. So it's not necessarily the kind of music you would hear in the clubs, you know, so that in itself is a challenge. So even if I were a guy, I'd face those challenges anyway. I tend to see issues with what kind of music you make as opposed to your gender.
Now, you studied abroad and then you chose to come back to get into this Nigerian music industry, which, to be fair, is very vibrant and is very alive. But as you also say, your kind of music is not the kind of music you'd hear in the club. So when you came back, how did you find the industry?
Okay.
And was what you found encouraging enough for you to actually choose to go into it?
Okay. Well, first of all, I was going to go into it whether or not
there was a vibrant industry
or not, because I knew that there were lots of talented people in the background anyway, you know, who would believe in what I was trying to achieve, and regardless of whether it was popular or not, I was going to do this. But yeah, when I came, I found that the likes of Cobhams, you know, Asha, then there was Bez, you know, I started seeing that there was some kind of a movement, like a revolution almost, you know, and I was, yeah, I'm glad I came when I did, because I'm joining them, you know. Yes, some people say, oh, you're taking the plunge, you're doing this for us and for the youth and all that, so that later on it will be easier to come out with what they call good music in the future. And I'm like, to be honest, I didn't really see myself as a, you know, freedom fighter type person. I just want to believe, I just wanted, yeah, and I wanted to make music that I can be proud of 10 years, 20 years from now. And also my parents and my family members, you know, I had to be able to justify leaving, like you said, all that, the accounting background, and going into music. So I couldn't now come and present them with something that, you know, they'd be a bit like, really, you left music accounting for this? Yeah.
Talking about justification, have you been vindicated?
Yes, and I will continue to be.
How so?
Just the quality.
Because I'm sure many people out there have never heard of you. They've never seen you.
Yes.
So what have you been doing?
I've been performing a lot, especially this year. Like you've seen already, I've brought out a couple of videos, and I will continue to bring out more music. But there is a slow and steady growth, and I do believe in organic growth. In everything that I'm doing, I'm learning, and I'm very involved in everything that happens in my career, you know, from the script of the videos to obviously writing the music. I find that everything is a learning process, so I'm going into this looking at it as a long-term career. I never expected to blow, you know, within 2 months or a year even. So I think looking at how I started and where I started and where I am now, definitely I'm going in the right direction. Not everybody knows me yet, but they will. So
I like that. I like that. They will, whether they like it or not.
Yes.
They will like it.
I'm interested in your perspective on the Nigerian music industry. Okay. Where do you think we are at, if you were to sum it up in your own words, right now?
I would just, one word, growth. There is a lot of growth. Now, of course, with that comes a wide variety of music and expression, let's just say. There is all sorts of music going on in the jazz world, in the pop world, Afro beats. So I just love the fact that now if you should go to a bar or a club, the likelihood of them playing a Nigerian song is very high. And I like that, because back in the day when I left, long time ago, well, when I say long time ago, over a decade ago, you would go out and it would be mainly, you know, American songs, British songs. So I love the fact that most people listen to Nigerian songs. Yeah, you go on the street, you hear the average person listening to a Nigerian song. So I like that. I find that very positive and encouraging.
Okay, let's go way, way back now. Tell us about you. Who is Ebisa?
I'm a fun-loving, very creative, sometimes crazy person, but I find that's what also fuels my creativity. Yes, I'm interested in all sorts. Music is my passion. Music is my first love. But you know, I would love, you know, a day out with friends. I love my family. I love my friends. I do love tennis. Yes, I studied. Exactly. I
studied. Did you watch Serena's match this morning?
Now the thing is, I love playing tennis. I love playing sports in general, but sitting down to watch others.
I'll take you up on that.
Yes, please, because I've been looking for a good tennis partner.
Okay.
Wow. But yeah, so but sitting down and watching others play, that just makes me itch. Like I want to be there. I want to be the one playing. Yeah, so I wouldn't say I follow.
Okay, what primary school did you attend?
Unilag Staff School. Yes. And then I moved on to Queen's College, but I was only there for about 2.5 years, and then I moved to England.
What were you doing in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, or what am I still doing in Saudi Arabia? Okay. My parents moved there when I was about 5. So, and my mom still lives there. They're doctors, so yeah. We were always there during the summer holidays, Christmas holidays. So I grew up there while I was, you know, in school here. Yeah, and then even when I moved to England at the age of 13, I'd still go and spend my holidays in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Okay. Your Twitter handle says you are award-winning Nigerian singer-songwriter.
Yes.
Awards? Tell us about it.
Well, my video, Joe, I won an NMVA award, actually, Nigerian Music Video Award last year. So of course, like I said, I was put in the alternative category. So with Bez, Lagbaja, and another artist, I can't recall. Yeah, so good. Yeah, to be honest,
that's good company, if you ask me.
Yes, I was quite shocked, pleasantly shocked that I won.
Which of your videos was this?
Joa. Yes,
okay.
It was
that's the first one we heard this morning.
The fun video. The other one was more romantic, soft, you know, but Joel was my expression of the crazy side of love.
Crazy side of love. Tell us about the crazy side of love.
When you're in denial, when you don't want to let go of something that you should let go of, perhaps something that wasn't even yours in the first place. Yes,
that's the one.
Yes.
So who are you fighting over?
Basically, I go to her wedding and decide that I'm going to marry the groom.
Oh my God!
Instead.
I mean,
so
can't get any crazier, can it?
Oh, exactly. It's yeah. I just decided to make it fun. People like a bit of drama, so.
Oh, poor groom. Oh dear.
He's like, I don't know you. What this?
Now, do you write all your songs yourself?
Yes, most of my songs I write like 100%, and then some I work with other artists. So I did a soundtrack, the official soundtrack for a movie called Tango With Me, starring Genevieve, Naji, and Joseph Benjamin. So that I wrote with someone else, I co-wrote. But I always like to be involved, like heavily involved in the creation of anything that I do. There might come a time when I let others write stuff, and then if I like it, then I might tweak it a little bit, but for now, I tend to write at least 60% of whatever it is that I sing.
That's interesting. And who directed and produced the video?
AK1, Akin Bakari. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Lovely working with him.
What was the experience like? You did say it's fun.
Yes.
What
So
was it
I
really
worked
like
with him
shooting
on
that
the.
one?
Yeah, it was love story. We shot that at Uyo, Le Meridian Hotel. It was really cool. Very beautiful place. And AK1, he just got from day one that this is someone who knows what she wants, and he allowed me to tell him. You know, there are some people who are a bit like.
So
some people who are like,
license.
yeah. So we'd go back and forth, send emails. You know, this is the script. How about this? And we're working on another video right now. My latest single, "Time of Our Lives," featuring Chi. And right now we just have series of meetings. He's cool. I can't even say any more than that. Very talented. He gets what I'm trying to, you know, what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm trying to express. And he just adds his own golden dust on it, and everything just comes out.
Okay, we have to wrap up now. What will be your final word in terms of where you're taking your music to?
Okay. Word? I wouldn't say word. Sentence.
Sentence or paragraph. So the whole book.
My dream, my hope, is to make music that will go way past just Nigeria or even Africa. I want music that Nigerians will be proud to call their own, you know, and they could take anywhere in the world and be like, yes, this is one of our artists, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Ebisa Bukola Damola, accountant, businesswoman, musician, and lyricist. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming. Sunrise will return in just a moment with yet another interesting topic.
Ooh.
Nigerians, let us unite.
Okay, so what we did at the beginning was to mention to you that Channels Book Club were looking at literature and encouraging young people to read and to get involved in book reading. And that's the reason behind Channels Book Club, which is a weekly program that we broadcast on the station. Well, as part of our drive to encourage young people to do that, this idea has come up. And to discuss Channels Book Club Prize for Literature with us this morning, we've got on my left-hand side, I will start with Aderele Shinariwo, who's wearing yellow. Welcome to Sunrise.
Well, she's on Sunrise. She's going to be sunny.
Bright and yellow, yes. Aderele is Director, Modern Day School of the Arts, and sitting next to her is Silva Nze Fedibo, who's a fiction writer and op-ed columnist. He's also the author of The Funeral Did Not End. And on this side, we've got we've got Yona Oyegun Masade, who is CEO and Managing Editor of Kachifo Limited, publisher of Farafina and Prestige Books. And just beside Yona is Kunle Kasumu, our own presenter of the Channels Book Club and producer as well. Well, I will want to start with you, Kunle. I know the idea. We sat together and we discussed this extensively. Talk us through the reason behind this.
Okay, sorry about my throat is a bit. The Channels Book Club, like you know, was your idea, Mr. John Momo's idea. The Channels team generally.
Take the credit for what you can.
The whole idea was to encourage a reading culture in Nigeria and to focus particularly on young people who are in secondary school. It's a culture that needs to be rebuffed. It's a culture that needs to be encouraged. Young people are out there, they love football, they love movies, they love music, they love all sorts, which are fantastic. But the reading culture is one that is dying. So the idea was to revive that culture by encouraging reading. Now, the concept of this competition is get a copy of Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, read it, and write an essay to review it. So unlike usual essay competitions where you just pluck a topic out of the air and just write, this one says read, then review the book through the essay. So most of the people who have been competing have been encouraged to read the book and then write their essays to review the book.
So it closes today. If anybody brings in their entry today, they will still be accepted, right?
Oh yes, closes by 12 midnight today. Somebody still called this morning and said, I'm interested. I said, then go for it.
Because we spoke about it at the beginning of this program at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And he said it was closing today. And if you're interested, there's still time. Go write it and send it in today.
No wonder. The call came at about 9:15 or something.
Okay. So this is a test in English language, English literature, and comprehension. Am I correct? Because you have to understand the book to be able to write anything on it.
And I will add presentation as well.
Right. Yes, because these are things that we say are missing in schools nowadays. People don't write essays anymore. Everything is multiple choice.
Exactly. So, Yona, maybe you should throw in some of the things. What would you be looking for? I'm sorry, Silva. Silva. Maybe you should throw in some of the things you will be looking for in the essays that these young people will be writing.
Okay. We're interested in making sure that the people who send in entries have read the book, want to see a good use of language, want to see a good expression, detailing the characters in the celebrated book as Things Fall Apart. We want to equally at the end of the competition, when the first list of shortlist is made, we equally want to see them present their work to us. So it's not just about
their presentation of the words, or
the presentation of the essays they've written, sort of defending what they've written.
Okay,
exactly. So the stages of the judging, we will have a first shortlist of 10, which we've mapped out criteria which we'll be judging them against, and then we'll bring in these 10 people to meet with the judges and actually present on their work, so that we are both testing them on presentation and verifying that they actually wrote what.
Yes. I am assuming that you are one of the judges.
Yes, I
am. So there is a panel of judges. How many judges are there?
There are 3 judges.
Are they 3 judges here in the studio? Right. Okay, so we have the 3 judges here in the studio. Now, might I ask, Denrele, what qualified you as a judge?
Well, I run an art school. One of the things that we identified before, while thinking about starting the school, was that there were no full-fledged creative arts programs professionally in the country at the moment. So we run creative writing courses, we run photography, fashion, and part of this book club prize for literature is about creative writing as well. It's not just about just writing, it's about getting an ambassador for the book club as well. So I guess that's what qualifies me, because the Modern Day School of the Arts is we teach creative writing courses, we teach communication classes as well.
Okay, Yona, can you help us with the issue of, we know today we're talking about the BlackBerry age, where everybody wants to text and BB and tweet, and the language of tweeting and BBing is
please, I can't even read texties.
The spelling and the grammar is non-existent. How do we begin to measure kids who are now used to that's where you put TT or THT with this issue of writing properly?
I mean, I think that's one of the things that the competition is actually trying to address, to say, you know, yes, it's great that we have this brand new text language, which is, you know, it's a wonderful new invention, but at the same time, you know,
are you sure of that? I don't think so.
You know what? I actually think that it serves a certain generation for the purpose that they use it for, but it's important to remember what the English language is. You know, the English language isn't D for thee and MSG for message, or even something shorter, I don't know, you know. It's important for young people to actually know what is correct. And so even if they do text language, they understand that that is not correct. You know, one of the problems that, you know, that some teachers will tell you that is these days kids are writing essays in text language. So I think that's one of the things that this competition is actually trying to address, to say there's a skill called, there's a skill about being able to differentiate, you know, being able to communicate in the appropriate way depending on where you are, depending on the setting. So it might be okay with your friends and with your classmates maybe to use text language between you, but young people in Nigeria have to understand that there are certain other scenarios where that's not appropriate. And I think that's one of the things that this competition is trying to address, to say, you know, there's a proper way. You know, there's a proper way to communicate. There's a proper English. There's a English is the language. English can't be changed by sort of our convenience or whatever it is.
So you know, find so things like way. It's okay now.
Yes,
it's okay now.
You know that has its own place.
Yes,
that has its place. But kids have to actually also understand the proper way to communicate, the proper way to present themselves. Which is why I'm really happy that there's a presentation aspect, you know, of the competition as well, because it's not just about the written word. It's also about being able to present confidently and being able to speak properly.
And Yona, after all said and done, whatever course you choose to study, you're going to learn it in the English language.
Absolutely.
So you better be able to understand.
And no matter your
and
profession, you
properly.
need to be able to communicate effectively and clearly.
I mean, this is brilliant.
Yes, tell us, what's the incentive for all the young people to take part in this? Because I'm sure some parents are watching and they're thinking, well, my son is very good with writing English, he should be involved in this. What's in it for them?
Well, the first prize is a sponsored trip to the Frankfurt Book Fair in Frankfurt, Germany. Now, the Frankfurt Book Fair is not an ordinary book fair.
Any child who loves books will just get lost in there.
It's the biggest book fair in the world, undoubtedly. It has about 500 years of history. So everybody wants to go to the Frankfurt Book Fair. I was at Frankfurt last year, but I missed the fair by a day. I almost cried. I had to come back to Nigeria just a day before. So I'm looking forward to going there this year. So
taking the winner.
Taking the winner.
Yes.
So it's an exciting book fair. Somebody might say, "Oh, go to a book festival rather than book fair." But book fairs are also exciting, particularly if it's a Frankfurt Book Fair that has a rich section for young people. Then the second prize is a sponsored trip to the Ake Arts and Book Festival, which is planned for November this year.
Where's
Abeokuta. Now it is going to be the biggest book festival in Africa, undoubtedly. We're all looking forward to it. Everybody's excited about it. There's going to be over 80 guests, speakers from all over the world. You know, so it's going to be very exciting, very unusual. And then the third prize is, a library of books, exciting books for whoever wins that. So these are fantastic incentives for the person who is going to Frankfurt, for example. Is going to have a wonderful, life-changing experience. Meet authors, internationally respected authors, publishers, see all sorts of books. And then it's not just going to be the fair itself. There's going to be a couple of visits around Frankfurt to also see what Frankfurt looks like.
Photo opportunities and
yes,
things like that.
And all that. So I think that's good.
I guess in addition to taking the winner to Frankfurt, they will be also equally getting books worth 50,000 naira. So the first prize gets books worth 50,000
from you guys.
Yes, from. Well, and then the second prize is getting books worth 50,000 as well, and the third prize winner will also get books worth 50,000.
But I should also add that the whole experience of even winning, being part of national competition, and then being recognized as a winner itself,
and they'll be on TV on channels.
Is this the first? Yes. Is this the first one you're organizing?
Yes, it's the first of many to come.
Wow. This
people
is
have been
so
calling to ask.
interesting.
People have been calling to ask. We had a lot of calls from university students. Is there anything for us?
No, they're too old. But I wish you had come like last week to have given the children more time, because from what you said earlier, the person who called you this morning, it certainly was after hearing us talk about it this morning.
Yes.
So if they had had the opportunity earlier, you might have even got more entries.
Yeah, that's correct. Very true. But the advert has been on TV for the last 1 month.
You don't want to extend it for a few days. You couldn't consider extending it for a few days for those who are hearing about it now.
Yes, I'm going to ask.
Not really.
I'm going to ask Derele a question, but we're just taking visuals of the PDP Special National Convention in Abuja. I understand, and I think I can see quite a few people with hats there, and I'm wondering, the president is somewhere in the midst of that crowd. This is the big PDP Special National Convention, where we expect that a number of elections will take place for the officials of the National Working Committee, of the officials of PDP. They will have all of their election today. A number of things will be happening, and I guess part of what they will be doing is taking decisions on key issues within the party. The party has had a number of issues to do with people who seem to be rebellious, but they are saying that the party is united. It is a family, and all kind of things that have happened in the past. There are things that happen within families. There are things that happen within any group of people, and they always believe that they will come together to sort out their differences and sit again and prepare for the 2015 election, because it seems everything that's happened so far is all about 2015. All of the posturing and positioning and maneuvering by different entities and individuals within the party, it's all aimed at 2015, who's going to be the president, who's going to be the governor of which state, who's contesting for what political post, who's going to contest to be legislators, and so on and so forth. But the party is clearly stating
that they are united even in the midst of the differences that you find within the PDP. They're saying they're one and they're continuing to hold power in Nigeria. That's their position, that that's what they want to continue to do. And I guess from the visual we're seeing there, you will see a large number of party stalwarts of PDP who are there. They will be backslapping and shaking hands and saying, forget about what the newspapers have reported about our party over the years, over the last few months. All that matters is, as of today, they are all together as one family, and I guess that's why the president has arrived there. And I guess there are some women, just recently on Channels Television, we had some women that were interviewed that said they're just there to make sure that women's presence within the political party is made stronger. And I guess we can see quite a lot of beautiful women in very, very obviously brilliant, colorful outfits. They're there. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is just about to take his seat. Just next to him, the vice president is there, and the first lady is also there. I think, yes, the event is about to start, but we will come back to that. We'll just wrap up this segment because we're taking this live throughout the course of the day up until about 5-6 p.m. today, and we'll be showing you all of what is happening at the PDP Special National Convention here on Channels Television. But we'll come back to the studio right now so that we can wrap up the show. So, we'll have to go now, but just before we go, a very quick question for you, Aderele. What do you think we should be doing about children and reading? Because you handle modern arts and encourage kids to learn it.
I don't think it's just children, though. I think it's not fair to just say children. Even a lot of the adults who don't. It's a general culture. Yeah, they don't read.
Well, we can't say that adults are lost cause, but I mean the children. If we get them,
save them, you know,
it's easier. Yeah, I agree. I think it's more competitions like this. It's more adapting the books to what you see more with kids, like the e-books and things like that. It's doing more competitions like this, encouraging them to read more. Okay. I think, yeah.
All right. Final word from you, Silva.
Well, I think I'm encouraging every child to read, even if you were not part of this competition this time. Get encouraged. You see your age mates on TV being celebrated for winning, so you should read books and less of TV.
You know, talk about publishing, because a lot of young people would love to be able to write. What will be your final word in terms of encouraging them to publish their works?
Okay, I mean, I think, you know, I mean, if any child is sort of interested in publishing, I think it's important to find out what the publishing companies are out there. Most publishing companies have a process where you can send in your work. We have that process where you can send in a portion of your work, say by email, you know, and if we think it's really great, we'll contact you and, you know, to get the rest of it. So actually, the information is out there. Most standard publishers have the information out there. So go online and search, and yeah.
Okay, last word, Kole.
Well, I think I should just thank the judges for taking out time to be part of this competition. They are experts in their fields, and it's a lot of sacrifice, reading all those essays and, you know, scoring them and so on. And for everybody out there, watch the Channels Book Club.
Okay, thank you very much. We must say thank you to all of you. You're now Yegun Masade, Aderele Shinaro, Silva Nze Ifedipo, and Kunle Kasumo. Thank you very much. Sunrise is just about to wrap up, and we wish you a great weekend. We will be moving straight back to Abuja for the PDP Special National Convention. My name is Kaide Akintemi.
And mine is Alero Idu, wishing you a happy weekend. Bye-bye.